On this week's show, Peloton is sending free gifts to some members, and Becs Gentry wins second in the Great World Race.
Plus, a new Bike Plus screen with a built-in guide is spotted. The custom audio slider feature is temporarily removed, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 203 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I am Amanda Siegel, and I am joined by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hi, Amanda. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good week?
Good week. We did finally break down in our house, and we turned on the heat yesterday. So
hallelujah.
That's a streak. It was a good 1 month streak. No AC, no heat on.
Wow.
But the electricity bill will be a good one. The next one.
Stuff. Impressive stuff. Well,
it was like 61 degrees in the house, so it just couldn't take
I can't even imagine.
And we would turn on the electric fireplace, in the living room. Which warms up that whole area pretty good.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, we finally had Jackie turned it on. It wasn't me.
Well, I transitioned from pretty awesome weather in Miami this past week to, oh my word, I arrived and
cold
Friday morning it snowed in Maryland. Flurried, but it was coming down, and I'm like, what have I done?
Yeah, the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game on Thursday night was crazy snowing.
Was it?
I guess it was in I think it was in Pittsburgh.
It was in Pittsburgh.
But it was coming down the entire game.
That is it's wild. I mean, I'm ready. I love a good, a good cold like winter. But it was like I really transitioned from a beautiful day that I left in Miami on Thursday to this like snow on Friday morning, and it was like, okay, well, what just happened here? My body's like not used to it.
I know.
But
I got the Canada Goose Park out the other day, so
I'm sure it's cold. It's colder up there, and you're gonna have, you'll have.
I mean, it's 41 now, but it's gray and cloudy, so
yeah,
it's wet.
Yeah. Maryland has somewhat similar. I just don't think we get as much snow as you get. So yeah. All right, folks. Well, we have tons to chat about today. So before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you how you can stay up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of this video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
And of course, we're on all podcast platforms. If you just want to listen to the audio of the show, just search Pelo Buddy TV and find us there.
And of course, we're on all social media outlets. So Facebook, Instagram, X, just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right. Well, Peloton's R&D team seems to have combined two of Peloton's products into one. Specifically, it seems that Peloton may have created a version of their Bike Plus screen, or tablet, as we like to call it, that includes an upgraded camera. So it looks to have taken some of the camera components of the Peloton guide device and placed it into where that regular camera is normally found at the top, the top middle of the Bike Plus tablet, which is also the same screen tablet that is used on the Peloton Shred and the Row, if you have those devices. So this was spotted in some promotional material that was shared during the 2024 Peloton Hackathon event. So one of the project demos showed some team members riding a Bike Plus with an experimental game. However, the tablet that they were using appears to have been modified with very different noticeable camera hardware. So most likely the explanation for this is that the R&D team is experimenting with some ways to bring the Peloton Guide movement tracker and some rep counting, form feedback features, and more to their other hardware devices. So of course, it should be brought to your attention that this could, not necessarily mean that any upgrade will come to fruition. It could just mean
Right.
they're just experimenting.
Just kind of letting us
Because
know.
we had previously talked about a product that Peloton was creating, a tonal competitor. The device was known as Project Cobra, and we shared like I think there were some, I don't know, patent filing documents that had sketches of them. But it was eventually canceled. It never came to market. So we never really got to see that. So who knows? I would love to see an upgraded bike tablet for just the original bike, with the upgraded sound and the Ethernet capabilities. I feel like that's, that tablet's pretty dated as it is. But I would love to get that front-facing big speaker on the original bike. So I would totally upgrade to that if that was an option for the original bike.
I mean, if
and it
they
would be
did
nice to actually use the guide, right? Considering neither of us have used it. I would actually use the guide features if I could just swivel the screen around.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense.
Some strength.
It makes sense. So, they definitely should look at doing that. I think it would be a very welcomed addition if they ended up doing that. So let's cross our fingers and hope that that's what the game plan is. All right. Well, this past Wednesday, Becs Gentry, together with about 50 other competitors, completed the Great World Race 2024, finishing 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. Becs incredibly secured second place overall for women, with Hillary Capish taking first place. I was incredibly fortunate that I just happened to be in Miami this past week. I was disappointed initially because it was supposed to, as we had shared with you guys last week, it was supposed to have completed on Thursday in Miami, but because of weather in Antarctica to get started, they started a day earlier. So Wednesday was, in fact, the day that they ran Miami. And I figured, how could I not go there and cheer her on? So I did. And it truly was an incredible experience. I mean, I've shared with you folks before that I get such a thrill out of the New York City Marathon and cheering, the runners on. This was so much more intimate. And what I loved about it was that it was this loop. So it was a 10-lap loop that they did. So you got to see them 10 times, which was really cool. I think that aspect of it.
Instead of just one moment when they pass by real quick.
Yeah, so you kind of get that one fleeting moment, and unless you run to somewhere else, you're not seeing them.
So is it every kind of 15 minutes they would pass by again?
Pretty much. She was strong. I mean, we got to see her. So it started down on 52nd Street, like on the boardwalk, kind of Miami Beach area, just past the Eden Rock Hotel, for anybody that knows.
Is that close to where your place is down there?
It was about a 20-minute to 30-minute drive. Not even that time of morning was perfect. Beautiful sunrise. The sky was just golden that morning, and the temps were amazing. They started out really great. It did get hotter. It was probably the hottest day of the week that I had been there that day. But I'm still like in the low 80s. When there was cloud cover, it was actually quite bearable, and it wasn't incredibly humid. It tends to get so humid down there, and it wasn't. But they gathered, as I said, at like 52nd Street, and then they kind of ran all the way down to 39th, did a loop, and ran back up. She looked strong. She looked happy, to have gotten started. The fun thing was that a couple of the instructors did surprise her. She didn't know that they were coming, so they had surprised her. So we had Ali Love, Camilla Rahman, Alex, and Robin, our son, were there, and I think she was very appreciative, of seeing some places. And then, of course, the Becs Beasts. I mean, there was a crowd of us that had gone down. And I say us. I wasn't a Becs Beast before Wednesday, but after seeing this machine run the way that she did, I inaugurated myself into the Becs Beasts. Everybody was so lovely and friendly and warm, and just, I really went not knowing anybody, and felt very welcome by them. So all arrived with their flamingos as they, stood on the side, and we're cheering. Of course, Austin, Bex's partner, was there. With
And their
gorgeous
baby girl.
Tallulah. Oh,
Mhm.
she is a sweetheart. Oh my goodness, what a sweet little girl. Cheering, she was like, "Come, mommy, come!" It was so sweet to see her cheering. And then the celeb of the day was Ben from this TLDR. Clip that. So he was the guy that had ended up going along and live streaming the entire 7 days.
Oh, on Twitch. Yeah.
On Twitch.
Yep.
He had only found out about it a week before. It was a great opportunity. His business is only being launched in December. So his business is not even launched yet.
So it's a
it
live
was
streaming business
huge-
for
yeah,
events.
yeah, he
Huh.
does. He'll do live streaming for events. And he did a remarkable job. He was so fun. Of course, started out going, "Who the hell is Bex?" And by the end of 7 days, he was like, it was all about Bex, which I kind of felt bad for some of the other competitors.
I wonder if she was the most popular fan favorite of
There
the
were
group.
a couple. I think so. I mean, she had Peloton behind her. There was no
Yeah.
question. There were definitely some others that had gotten a lot of notoriety on this, on the course over the 7 days. But just to kind of fill you in, folks, some key highlights of Beck's performance, since she's our star. The Antarctica Marathon, she finished third with a time of 3 hours, 20 minutes and 44 seconds, breaking the continental record. The South African Marathon, which was down in my hometown of Cape Town, they actually came in, all 5 of the women came in together. Well, 5 of the women that were running, because it wasn't all the women, but 5 of the women shared that 5-way tie for first. And that one they did in 3 hours, 15 minutes and 46 seconds. The Australian Marathon, which was done in Perth, she tied for first at 3 hours and 2 minutes. So she just got stronger, which is just, insane to me if you're running literally every day. Europe, which was Istanbul, she came in second at 3 hours and 7 minutes, followed by third in the Asia leg, which was the next day. South America, which was definitely her hardest race. She said she battled extreme heat, competing.
Where was that? Where was
that
that?
was in Cartagena.
Cartagena.
Cartagena. Yeah. They said the temps were just excruciatingly hot. And she did say that was one of her toughest marathons. And then in Miami, she finished first with 3 hours, 11 minutes and 17 seconds. And she came in together with Hillary Kipnash, who was actually the winner, the overall winner of the race. And of course, greeted by family. As I said, Austin and Tallulah were there, her aunt and uncle. She had cousins, there was family, obviously the Peloton folk, and then me and a bunch of Becs beasts. But I got to just tell you that Becs just demonstrated resilience throughout this race. And when you saw her running, honestly, John, you just got to see what a beast she really is. She looked so strong on that 7th day. And she had some foot pain the day before, and certainly some challenging conditions along the way. But her spirit of just her determination was incredible. It was incredible. It was just amazing to watch. And very, very impressive. Her journey, which was shared, via social media and Peloton classes, also inspired community members. And it was interesting to hear people say, well, maybe I'll try this. And there were a couple that were there, at the finish line that had said, that maybe they would contemplate trying this. Never in 1,000 million gazillion years could I even imagine doing something like that. But really awesome. And a huge, huge congrats, certainly from us here at Pelo Buddy.
Amazing.
But it was truly an honor to have been able to stand there and watch her cross that finish line, which was so much fun.
Well, shifting gears a little bit, in case you haven't noticed on your Peloton hardware, or in case you missed the countless posts about it on the official Peloton member page inquiring about this feature, Peloton has temporarily disabled their custom audio mix slider feature from the hardware. So this is the mix feature on the device where you can really customize bringing all the music all the way to the forefront and having the instructor voice minimized as much as possible, or vice versa, bringing it all the way over to the instructor and then lowering the music pretty much almost completely muted. Peloton shared that there's been isolated reports, and a lot of folks have mentioned that when they would use that feature, all of a sudden the video and audio would be out of sync. So they've removed that feature. They've identified the bugs. There's an official case report submitted for it. However, they don't expect to turn it back on until January. So I'm going to have to hold off for a couple of months before we see that feature reactivated.
Do you use it?
I've used it a couple times.
Okay.
For on-demand classes, like for cooldowns.
Okay.
Like if I do a German cool down, I don't really need to hear all the German talking. So I just turn the instructor all the way down.
Got
I never really noticed the issue that a lot of folks had experienced where it would go out of sync.
Right. I haven't used it often, but that's interesting. All right.
It was nice. I mean, it was nice to really bring all the music way up and have the instructor completely turned almost 100% down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still pretty low in the mix, but
well, hopefully when they bring it back, they'll have it, kind of ironed out, and it'll be good. All right. Well, part of November member month at Peloton and part of the celebrations, they are surprising select members with free gifts as a token of appreciation. So members identified as most active received an email titled "We're Grateful for You," inviting them to claim their gift by submitting shipping information. One of the reported gifts is a Peloton branded sweat towel. The gifts are distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, so members should act quickly if they would like to claim their gift. The initiative kind of follows previous Peloton giveaways, such as turkey hats for the turkey burn classes, New Year gifts for active members in 2023, and a recent free apparel giveaway in Australia. So I did not receive one. Did you?
No, I haven't. I was trying to remember the last time I got a free gift. It might have been for that. I don't know, what was it? Was it Homecoming, where some people received the flags?
I did get Homecoming. Yes.
Yeah. And you would record something on social media with it. I think that was the last thing I got.
All right.
So it's been a while.
I think that was my last
I'm
one
definitely not the most active compared to some
my goodness,
lunatics out there that work out 5 hours a day.
Me neither.
I've definitely cooled down, chilled out.
All right.
Well, Peloton is launching a new video series, Amanda, with member stories as part of the Peloton Member Month initiative running through November. The new series is being called Moved by Blank, which is each story will feature something different that the member is moved by. So the first member story is Moved by Greatness. It features WNBA champion and Peloton member Breanna Stewart. The Peloton released a clip of Breanna's member story on Instagram, and then the full video is available on the Peloton YouTube channel as well. But Breanna shares in her member video about rupturing her Achilles tendon and how she had to overcome injury and recovery to get back to playing basketball at her full potential. And her story shows her running on her Peloton Tread Plus, playing basketball, and spending time with her wife and 2 kids. And as with many members, her journey began with Peloton back during the COVID pandemic, she shared. And there's a logo at the end that reveals that this video was produced as part of Peloton X NBA and WNBA partnership. So it kind of remains to be seen if the Move By series will feature any just everyday members or if it will be more focused on celebrity Peloton members that have Peloton equipment. So
I hope
we'll
they
see.
do bring in, kind of the regular
Yeah.
members too, because there
I
are
mean, it'd
some
be nice for a
amazing
mix, at
stories out
least.
there. There's
Yeah.
some amazing stories out there, and it'd be nice to showcase them. My understanding is that they were, but I guess we'll wait and see where that goes. All right. Well, each week, as you know, we kind of like to recap as to what Peloton's weekly highlights were. So for this past week, November the 18th through the 21st, we kick it off with Kira Michelle's morning mobility class. It's a 30-minute morning mobility class, which launched on Thursday, November the 21st, and was a really, really awesome class. Then we have Christine Dirkley's 10-year anniversary, which was also celebrated on November the 1st. It was celebrated with a 30-minute reflection ride at 5:30 p.m., I believe, with members. Members can also check out the new Christine's Greatest Hits collection in the library, featuring her signature classes like Legendary Climbs and Artist Series Rides. Next up, we have the 20-minute intermediate Just Tabata cardio class with Logan Aldridge, adding to his Just Tabata series. The class will air live today, Sunday, November the 24th at 10 a.m. And lastly, Ali Love will teach a live 30-minute Sundays with Love ride, also today, as part of her inspirational series. So that was this week at Peloton this past week.
Nice. Well, Peloton announced a special class series that took place through last week and today. It's called Peloton's Time Machine Week, and it kicked off this past Monday, the 18th. So the initiative, it's dedicated to a battle of the decades, 80s versus 90s. So Peloton's Time Machine Week for 80s versus 90s brings together a variety of Peloton classes that celebrate music, pop culture, and those vibes from those two specific decades. So there was a total of 10 classes taught by 10 instructors spanning a wide variety of modalities, offerings in English, German, and Spanish. All classes appear to have occurred live. And what we got is as follows. So kicking it off on Monday the 18th, Cliff Dwanger taught a 30-minute 80s versus 90s ride. Then Rebecca Kennedy did a 30-minute 80s versus 90s Pilates. Sam Yo did a 30-minute 80s versus 90s ride, which I did live, which was super fun. And he's very much, into that 80s decade with his video store series.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and I posted a reel, included a really random funny clip from him from that ride. But moving on, Rad Lopez had a 20-minute 80s versus 90s hit cardio. Alex Karwoski.
Was he even born yet?
Was Rad?
Yeah.
It wasn't. He's probably born in the 90s, right?
Well, I think so.
Like late 90s, maybe.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. He made it. He made the cutoff. Alex Karwoski, he had a 15-minute row. And then Marcel Maurer had a 45-minute walk in German. And Hannah Frankson did a 30-minute run. And then Jocelyn Thompson-Rule had a 45-minute walk, a 30-minute yoga flow with Chelsea Jackson-Roberts. And then this morning, Jen Sherman taught a 30-minute 80s versus 90s ride to close out the series.
I'm looking forward to doing that one. But that one's going to be fun.
I just wish I wish she got a 45-minute because I feel like Jen's
30
she's
minutes
the OG
is just too
and
short.
45-minute is her sweet spot, or 45 minutes or an hour is what I know she loves to teach that length.
Yeah,
as opposed to the shorter time.
But that's going to be that's going to be a fun
one. It'll be good
one.
either way.
Yeah,
I'm sure she'll have some Pearl Jam in there and Bruce.
I'm sure. All right. Well, also kind of part of this Time Machine Week that they launched, Peloton also announced the Smarter series. I'll take the first one, which was the Nirvana Artist Series, celebrating one of the most iconic American rock bands. The series features 8 classes across 5 modalities and are also available in English, Spanish, and German, with the majority being live classes. The members who do these classes can earn badges, including one for this Peloton Time Machine Week. So you'll have like a nice little row of badges there. As part of the series, the class schedule includes a 30-minute outdoor run with Becs. And I know that lots of folks were excited to be able to do that because it was kind of dropped right after she had completed the marathon. So that was fun. Mariana had a yoga flow in Spanish. So Mariana Fernandez had a Spanish yoga flow. Charlotta Wiedenbach, together with Mila Weaverkamp, did a 30-minute 2-for-1 ride. That was in German, out in the UK. Selena Samuela had a 30-minute full body strength, which was a premiere. It was a live premiere. Kira Michelle did a 30-minute yoga conditioning. Jess King had a 45-minute live ride. That was live with members. And Katie Wong had a 30-minute row. And then wrapping it all up, Susie Chang did a live 30-minute run. So a really fun, group of classes that were offered.
Nice. Well, switching over to more of the 80s era and earlier, we also got a Lionel Richie artist series, which that series also began on Monday, November 18th. We got 8 classes over 6 modalities that were offered in English and German. The majority of them did drop straight to the on-demand library. So what we did get was a 20-minute yoga flow with Dennis, a 20-minute full body strength with Andy, 20-minute row with Adrian, a 20-minute full body stretch from Marcel in German, a 20-minute yoga flow with Nico, which was in German, and a 30-minute ride with Mila, which was also in German, and then a 20-minute walk with John Hosking and a 20-minute ride with Leanne. And the Hosking walk, that was actually the one live one.
Yes.
That happened. All the other ones were on demand or premiere drops.
Yeah, it was fun. I think that was Tuesday morning. It was in his Tuesday morning slot.
I was on the fence on if I was going to get up to do it. I messaged him the day before and I said, "Do you have Dancing on the Ceiling on the playlist?" He's like, "Of course." And then I was like, okay. And then I didn't get my butt up.
I should have told you because I actually celebrated a milestone. I did 1250 walks in that. 20 minutes was just not long enough for Lionel Richie. And that's what he said to me.
I could have done a milestone on that. I had 750, but I chose to do it on the 45-minute one the next day with Logan.
Which made sense. He caught me right because I was 1250, so he caught me right at the end in his cool down. But 20 minutes, he just said to me, "Amanda, I don't know what to do. 20 minutes just isn't enough to put in, so many songs."
Especially for an artist series, at least you got to go 30. But.
I was surprised they only did 20 for Lionel, but because there's just so many great ballads in there. All right. And then lastly, Peloton dropped a scooter artist series on November the 19th, which features the iconic German techno group Scooter. The series included 2 German language classes. There was a 30-minute scooter DJ ride with Eric Jaeger, which actually features H.P. Baxter, Scooter's frontman, who joined Eric during the class, recording at PSL during the recent London Calling German Members Weekend, as well as a 30-minute scooter run with Marcel Maurer, which was actually live. Members that were doing those classes can earn a Scooter Artist Series badge.
Never heard of Scooter before, have you?
Me neither.
But it looks like he had fun with Eric in that ride.
Definitely had fun.
From the photos.
Yes.
Well, sticking with Peloton Germany is marking a very significant milestone this month, their 5-year anniversary. So Peloton posted a special tribute on Instagram, complete with photos of the German instructor team from over the years. In addition to the celebration on social media, there is now a Best of Peloton Germany class collection that was just created. There's 70 classes featured, broken down by year. However, due to purges, the oldest class in the collection is only from November of 2020, unfortunately, so a year after Peloton Germany started. So officially, they launched Peloton Germany on November 20th, 2019, and then Peloton's expansion into the German market was a major movement for the company, continues to be a significant portion of their program and content and focus. So happy 5-year anniversary.
Amazing. Amazing. And yeah, you know what? I neglected to say this at the beginning of the show, but we will not be recording next week for Thanksgiving, which leads me into, we chatted about Thanksgiving last week, and we chatted in depth about what was going to be offered to you guys. But we did want to just go ahead and remind you of the fabulous lineup for the turkey burn classes next week. Make sure you don't miss out on those. And all we can do is hope and pray that the system won't crash as it did last year.
Are
But
you
there
going to
are-
be in Maryland or
I am going to be in
Florida?
Maryland. I am going to
Okay.
be in Maryland.
So you're going to be on the
Thanksgiving.
ride live, or are you going to do the run?
I'm going to do the run.
Well, I think I'm going to do the run. The run's first. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm actually going to do the ride this year, now that Jackie and I have figured out how we can both ride at the same time on one membership.
Oh, you found a hack?
We figured out once you join a class live, she can switch over the membership to her bike and it won't knock me off.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's brilliant.
We tested that out a while ago. So we just figured now we can both do it on just
All
one
right,
membership.
well,
So
hey, folks, if you just caught that, that's a way that you
I
guys,
think I
you and your
mentioned that.
partner. Did
I
you?
mentioned that on a episode. Maybe you weren't on it. Maybe it was
Maybe
just me
not.
and Chris. But I mentioned
Okay,
that to
yeah.
Chris that I'd discovered that. Probably should have just kept that to myself, because now they're gonna lock that down or
I
turn
know.
that
Okay,
feature
well,
off.
We won't make a big. Don't tell anybody that hears this. Yeah, so
Anyhow.
I definitely want to. Yeah, well, I'm not doing Thanksgiving this year. Last year I hosted Thanksgiving, and it was my first Thanksgiving that I'd ever hosted. My son really wanted to do it. So this year we're back at my sister's. So I have the time. I have the time to work out, all morning, which is great. Last year there was no working out other than in the kitchen. But yeah, no, there's some great classes. So definitely make sure you head over to pelobuddy.com or certainly your app to see what's being offered. And we'll mention it again at the end of the show, but we will take next week off. So there won't be any live Pelo Buddy show for you folks next week.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, Peloton is once again teaming up with GirlTrek for a special community event called Peloton X GirlTrek Black Family 5K. It features instructors Jess Sims and Kirsten Ferguson, and the event is taking place next Sunday, December 1st, from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., beginning at Peloton Studios, New York. It's an invite-only event designed to celebrate family, community, and wellness, providing a unique opportunity for participants to walk alongside Peloton instructors as GirlTrek crew leaders through the streets of New York City. And the invitation describes the Black Family 5K as a gathering centered on family, gratitude, and health, encouraging participants to connect with one another while reflecting on the Thanksgiving season. And Peloton and GirlTrek have collaborated previously. Earlier this fall, the two organizations hosted a series of Sisterhood Saturdays events in major cities like Dallas, Washington, D.C., Houston, and New York. And their purpose was to connect communities and promote GirlTrek's mission of empowering Black women to prioritize their health through walking. And they've been involved, GirlTrek's been involved with Peloton through the 2021 pledge, which we've talked about on previous episodes, which was an initiative focused on supporting marginalized communities and fostering inclusivity.
Nice. Really cool. Very, very cool. All right. Well, last week we also shared that Peloton were hosting a meet and greet at the grand opening of their new Nashville retail store with RK, Rebecca Kennedy, and Jen Sherman, which we have since found out that Jen was unable to attend. We're not 100% sure why, but I believe that just Rebecca ended up being at the meet and greet. But this week, we can share that a second event took place actually the day before, on Tuesday, November the 19th, titled Turn Up the Motivation. The event featured country music artist Kaylee Hammer and actress singer Taman Sursok, who is a Peloton ambassador. The event included discussions on fitting fitness into busy schedules and the motivational power of music alongside some early Black Friday deals on Peloton products. The event was free, but members did have to RSVP in order to get in. So if anybody went and had fun, let us know. We always like to find, we always like to know after the fact if you in fact went and it was a good meetup.
Yeah. Well, if you've been considering pulling the trigger on a Peloton Bike Plus, now might be a really good time to finally make that leap, especially if you're a Costco member. So now, just in time for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, Costco has slashed the price of their Bike Plus even further for customers who purchase at their warehouse, at their physical Costco location. So for the next few weeks, you can snag the Peloton Bike Plus at some Costco stores for $17.99 US, which is $200 off the regular Costco, the already reduced Costco in-person price of $19.99.99. A Peloton member, I think in Illinois, shared with Pelo Buddy at her local Costco a photo of the price. So this is obviously one of the best deals we've seen on the Bike Plus this year, significantly undercutting Peloton's own Black Friday promotion. While Peloton's website currently offers the Bike Plus with a bundle that includes shoes and light weights for $19.95 for Black Friday, the Costco deal of $17.99 is still a standout smoking deal. One caveat to note is this might not be available at every physical Costco location in your area, so you might want to call ahead just to confirm availability and price as well.
Sounds good. All right. And for those of you that are still renting your bikes, for the first time, Peloton is offering a discounted buyout option for those folks, for those of you that are in fact renting your bikes or Bike Plus devices. The promotion is also part of Peloton's Black Friday sales. It runs from November the 12th through January the 8th of 2025. Eligible customers can save up to $150 on the buyout of a standard bike and $400 on a Bike Plus. Some of the key details that folks should be aware of is that this offer is open to renters with agreements made before November the 12th. The buyout costs vary depending on the duration of the rental, and there are some restrictions in that it cannot be combined with other promotions, referral codes, or corporate wellness programs or discounts. Members can check their eligibility through Peloton's rental buyout page or consult Peloton support for the recent buyout options.
Nice. Well, happy birthday this week. Bradley Rose celebrated a birthday this past Friday. So happy birthday, Bradley.
Happy birthday,
it's funny. I always feel like there's an influx of stories and posts of random Christmas, like Hallmark Christmas movies that Bradley's been in because he's got, the acting card. So you always see him in these
Hallmark kick around
this
time
these
of
cheesy,
year.
Wearing his like camel covered overcoat and like some family scene or walking down the stairs of some, family house.
I did see that. That's too funny. Well, happy birthday, Bradley. All right. I guess we can kick right off into Instructor in the News. And I will start with Rad. So Rad Lopez is teasing a new announcement. And the buzz on the street is this announcement going to be that he'll be a new tread coach?
Better be.
We are expecting it to happen during the feast next week for Thanksgiving, where there will be 5 strength instructors that will be doing a class together, or maybe it's something else. But
just not a newsletter, please.
Definitely right, or a book.
Not a newsletter.
Maybe it's a book. No, I think Red. I think this may be. There was just a lot of buzz about tread coach. And maybe they don't really have any. I'm going to rephrase that. Does Camilla do her tread in Spanish? I forget. I think so.
Yeah, I think she has some tread classes.
I think she does. So maybe because Mariana doesn't. Mariana's tread classes are in English. So maybe they're adding more Spanish content. Who knows? I guess we'll fill you in when we're back.
Exciting either way. I feel like he's very underutilized on the platform. So it would really be nice to see him add a new modality.
Agreed.
Because I feel like when he's live on the schedule, it's always later in the day after 5 p.m. Like he never has like a good weekday, midday or morning time slot.
Maybe he has a day job.
Well, Adrian Williams recently posted that he's working on something special. He posted this really short, 3-second little video clip on Insta of him and the Peloton production crew saying all in unison, saying that's a wrap. And, they had a little sort of like film scene, marker.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing it might be some sort of outdoor content or something along those lines. That would be my guess, but we'll wait and see.
Anything Adrian has to offer us is welcomed. So we'll look forward to that. All right. And in a recent article for HuffPost, Hannah Corbin shares her journey with Hashimoto's. As some of you may know, she has suffered from Hashimoto's disease. She opens up about her diagnosis of the disease, which is an autoimmune condition affecting the thyroid. She says that for 2 years, she experienced unexplained exhaustion, weight gain, brain fog, and frequently was dismissed by physicians and doctors as just job-related stress. But after being persistent and being her own self-advocate, she was diagnosed and began managing the condition with medication, dietary changes, and adjusted her exercise routines. Hannah's story underscores the importance of self-advocacy in healthcare and the value of a proactive, positive mindset while manifesting a chronic illness. This goes back to, Leanne, just knowing that something wasn't right with her body when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. So definitely, I love the fact that these instructors come out and talk about this type of thing so openly so that people are more aware, of their bodies and what's going on. So really good article.
Well, it's just around the corner, but Allie Love, this is for you. If you'll be in Miami, you might want to go to this, Amanda, but Allie Love will be speaking at an event as a guest speaker, an event in Miami. It's the Wellness Oasis happening in Miami, Florida on December 5th and 6th. And other notable speakers I noticed on the roster include singer Joe Jonas, Goldie Hawn, and Deepak Chopra, just to name a few of the ones that really stood out to me. But the Wellness Oasis, it's presented by Chase. It's a transformative event platform, as it's described, and community dedicated to helping people with their mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. It's led by some distinguished experts and advocates across a diverse range of self-care practices. And then guests are guides through an immersive program curated to include inspiring conversations, workshops, and experiences around movement, mindfulness, togetherness, and more. So the day one tickets are currently sold out, which is the December 5th. However, Allie is on day two, which is Friday, December 6th. There's tickets still available for that. Also, Joe Jonas is on that day too, if you're a Jonas fan. So they're still available. The cost is $150 per ticket. It looks like there's a lot of different things you can attend, with that ticket. So if you want to, that
sounds awesome.
attend,
unfortunately, I'm not going to be down there. I'm actually going to be in London. I'm going to be in London that week.
Look at you.
Yeah. Oops. Lost my earpiece. So I'm not going to be there, but that would have been amazing. I absolutely would have attended if I was in Miami, because it does look like an awesome symposium or whatever they were calling it.
Wellness. Are you going to be at PSL?
I am. I'm going with a group of Pelo friends. So we're doing the Christmas in London, the pre-Christmas in London experience. I've never actually been there. I've been there in November, but I've never actually been there in December. So I'm looking really forward to be.
So do you already have classes booked?
I do. We have a couple takeovers.
Nice.
And the London schedule's tough though, because they do everything at the same time, and there are very few classes.
The different modalities.
Yeah. So the first night, Friday night, we'll be there for John's. It'll actually be his holiday class, which will be fun. His Christmas class.
Is that a
So
walk?
we'll be there for that. I believe it is a walk. I can't remember now, but I think it is a walk. And then Saturday we're doing a husky takeover. And he has a 2-for-1. So he has a 20-minute walk and a 20-minute run. And then Sunday we're doing a Leanne Hainsby takeover. So so that'll be nice. But I really wanted to do Jocelyn as well. And she's at the same time as Leanne. And she was so sweet because I had messaged her and said, Justin, I'm so bummed. Can't you just switch the time for 1 week because we're all coming over? And she was so sweet. She goes, I wish I had that kind of power. She said, but no, take Leanne. She goes, you're going to hear all about her honeymoon's extravaganza stories. Oh my God, does she look like they are having the best time. So I am looking forward.
Is PSL still, they still just line up? There's no silver, red, black cards there,
Pretty
right?
much. Yeah. They
That's
just want to do that. Yeah. All right. Well, switching gears back to Robin. Robin Arzon shares her journey with type 1 diabetes, T1D, in a feature with Prevention Magazine. So Robin was diagnosed a decade ago while training for an ultramarathon. And she initially attributed her symptoms like thirst, frequent urination, and weight loss to her intense training regimen. She was encouraged by her physician mother to see an endocrinologist, which she did, and was actually diagnosed just weeks before her race. Despite the diagnosis, she did in fact complete the ultramarathon and has since become a huge advocate for early screening and living, a robust life with T1D. Robin highlights the importance again of early detection to prevent severe complications like diabetic ketoacidosis. She underscores that knowledge and focus, attributes honed through her ultramarathon training, helped her manage her condition. Through her social media and Peloton platform, she does inspire others to pursue their dreams despite challenges, embodying the mantra, we become the stories that we tell ourselves. So again, yet another instructor that is very open about their, medical history and hopefully gives hope to others that are in similar situations.
Right. Well, sticking with Robin news, she recently ran the High Rocks event. She posted on Instagram. She said, over the past few months, I've been training my endurance and strength to be ready for this Saturday's High Rocks America race. It's a 1 kilometer run paired with functional workout stations throughout, like sled pushes, wall balls, and lunges. So it's a full body test of grit and hustle. And then she also posted last week, she's bringing back her 3-for-1 challenge. In the post, she said, sound the alarm. December 1st is almost here, and y'all know what that means. 3-for-1 is back. So if you're new, she says 3-for-1 is her December challenge where we move 3 miles or 30 minutes every single day of the month. She says, make sure you're signed up for the Swagger Society newsletter, which she links in her Instagram bio. That's where she's going to be sharing all her updates and details.
Nice. All right. And wrapping up Instructor in the News, folks, Cody, together with Olympic runner Colleen Quigley, appeared on Good Morning America and shared their practical fitness tips for staying active during the holiday season. So in unison with Robin's 3 for 31, you can take on Cody and Colleen's tips. They both acknowledged the challenges of busy schedules and travel, but provided strategies for incorporating workouts into festive routines. So they suggested folks focus on short, high-intensity sessions such as a 5-10-minute bodyweight exercise or Tabata intervals to stay consistent without requiring too much time. They also suggested that whilst on the go traveling, one should look at utilizing portable equipment like resistance bands or engage in activities that need no gear like walking or stair climbing. And lastly, to prioritize small lifestyle adjustments, such as taking extra steps, dancing at gatherings, or stretching during downtime to maintain physical activity, even on those busy days. So no excuse, according to Cody and Colleen, as to how you can continue to keep active during the holidays.
Did you notice that Cody on Thursday in his Instagram stories, he posted that he was still high from the anesthesia that he had? And he posted it like in some doctor's office. And I had a couple people messaging me like, what did he have done? Like, and I said, colonoscopy. They were like, no,
he's
way too young.
That.
And I said, okay, it's definitely cosmetic then. I feel like definitely.
Funny. But he didn't say what he didn't say what he was having.
No, it was super vague. He tagged somebody that was like a friend that worked there who was probably an assistant or something. So no, he's always like, you know, he barely posts any like details with his stories.
He's very
you know,
cryptic.
It's like you got to do the investigating.
Right.
But he's teaching. He's taught the following day on Friday.
So
at
couldn't
3 in the afternoon and at 5:30. So yeah, I figured maybe it was, you know, just cosmetic. He was doing something.
Yeah.
I was just curious if you noticed.
Well, we'll wrap it up with this week's picks of the week. Why don't you kick it off, John?
All right. So first up, going to the mat for yoga, Anna Greenberg's 30-minute TLC flow, which was on November 14th. Armajar 3 said this class had a great, crazy, sexy, cool vibe. And then switching over to the row, Ash Pryor's 30-minute TLC row. Bertha C. runs MD. Gwen gets to said, I loved the structure of this row. And Ash picked the best TLC songs, perfection, all the vibes. And then Camilla Ramon's 35-minute intervals and arms ride from November 15th. Marley J. and Armajar 3 said fun all-girl group playlist in this one.
All right. And the next one is definitely a winner. The 120-minute Global Power Zone Endurance Ride with multiple instructors that happened on November the 16th. Our very own Mr. Pelo Buddy himself, Chris Lewis, was in that class live in New York. And he
got his money's worth on that one. Get your money's worth on that class.
Oh boy, I can't even imagine. I mean, I was so impressed. It was a really, I mean, I just kind of tapped in to kind of see what it was all about. Did not ride, but walked it. I was walking and figured I would tap in and see what everyone was doing. But yeah, it was tough. I mean, but they seem to have had fun, and Chris survived, so that's a good sign. But together with Chris, we had this come to us from Allbiz Liz, Boca Britt, Jennifer Carroll 22, Pam S. Harrison, Gwen Gets To, and look at that, our Mr. Producer, Chris M. Giles, all recommended this ride. Some of the comments were, I never expected 2 hours of PZ riding to be so entertaining and enjoyable. And then going over to Alex Toussaint, he's 30-minute Clabberbangers ride, also from the 16th, came to us from Fresh Simba. They said this whole class was a vibe. I know you love those classes.
I did that one.
You did
I
it
did
live.
that one live. Yeah. Love my club
and then
bangers.
We had Ben Aldis, his 20-minute Power Zone recovery ride. So if you really could bear to spend another 20 minutes on the bike after 120 minutes, they recommended you do Ben's. This one came to us from Gwen Gets To, and they said this Zone 1 and Zone 2 ride was a perfect ride the day after. Clever. Okay. The 120-minute PZ ride. I hope Peloton makes more of these PZ recovery rides.
And Benny Adami's 30-minute dance music ride, which was in English from the 17th. Armajar 3 said this ride isn't for the faint of heart. It's tough, but it's in English. And then Chelsea Jackson Roberts, 30-minute hip-hop yoga flow from November 17th. Armajar 3 said solid flow with great tunes. And then switching over the tread, Kirsten Ferguson's 60-minute intention-setting walk from November 17th. Jess Shields said good motivation. She talked about her recent marathon experience.
Nice. All right. And then we have Selena Samuela had a 30-minute rock run. That was on the 17th at noon. It came to us from Casey Sue Kate and Cycle Run Core 805. They said great energy from the studio and great playlist. And then Christian van der Velde's 45-minute Real Roots Road to Hannah, also from the 17th. This one came to us from Mr. Pelo Buddy himself and Just Dance Lisa. They said, great to hear him describe the real route as we were doing it, and was a solid workout, but not a straight up climb the entire time. So Chris was in fact live in studio for that one as well, which I'm sure was tons of fun. And then Susie Chan had a 45-minute pop run. That one was from the 18th at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It came to us from a Tune 24 and Just Dance Lisa. They said, great playlist. It was debut singles, very well structured, longer blocks of endurance efforts with speed progression at the end of each block. And Jess King, oh, no, yeah, that's for you.
Yes, that's right. Jess King's 45-minute sweat steady low impact ride from November 18th. Christy and Babs and Daisy Mack said, love the combo of her sweat steady plus low impact. Every bit of the class was soul nourishing. It was centered around why you opt in. And then Sam Yo's 30-minute 80s versus 90s ride from November 18th. Rich Way to the Bike, Jess 8284, OG Valley Girl, and Spin Loving Mama said, I loved the soundtrack and the movie references. So good. A walk down memory lane. And yeah, this was the one where I said he said something that's kind of just out of left field from Sam, because just, he's very clean. He doesn't like cuss or swear. He's not dirty or vulgar, unlike Bradley, which I love. But he was playing a song from the Rocky soundtrack. I don't know if it was Rocky 2. But he was talking about, it was from the song was from the scene where Mickey is training Rocky and helping him his endurance and quickness with his feet, and having Rocky chase after and catch this chicken that's on the ground that's running around for, his hand movement.
All right.
And then all of a sudden he was like, we're not choking the chicken, which a lot of 90s boys did. And then he just quickly moved on from that.
Oh, so that's too funny.
It's just the most random segue. Anyway, great ride. Great 80s and 90s music. I loved it. All right, moving on. Leanne's 20-minute Lionel Richie ride from November 19th. Just Go Lisa said, ride is perfect with some power ballads in there.
All right, and I'll take the next one. Yeah, so my pick of the week this week was John Husking's 20-minute Lionel Richie walk. That was from the 19th at 6:55. It was part of a stack that he did. So he did an intervals run first and then the Lionel Richie walk. Just to really, how can John not be awesome in a Lionel Richie class? He picked great tunes. Just was a fun walk, and yeah, I got to celebrate a milestone, so that was fun.
Nice.
And then Eric Yeager had a 30-minute scooter DJ ride that was from the 19th at noon. It came to us from Ainsley R9. And they said, fun to have the lead singer DJ in studio with Eric for this one. And then Rebecca Kennedy did a 20-minute low-impact cardio on the 19th at 12:20 p.m. This one came to us from Just Dance Lisa, and she said, this step class is so awesome.
I did it live. I was actually a random. I just decided to switch it up that day, so I did her 10-minute core with this one. Yeah, just to
and it was fun.
Mix things up. Yeah.
Nice.
She was playing a lot of power ballads in that one. It was fun.
Nice.
All right. So going over to Strength Studio, Rad Lopez's 20-minute 80s versus 90s hit cardio from November 19th. Julie MJ said great music, simple moves, and great commentary. And then Cody's 30-minute low impact ride from the 19th. Keep moving forward said great ride. Just what I needed that day. And then closing out the picks of the week, Kira Michelle's 20-minute yoga flow from the 19th. Armajar 3 said, this class helped me see the progress I've been working to.
Nice. And I guess that wraps it up, folks. So just a reminder that we are going to go ahead and take next week off for the Thanksgiving holiday. So for all of our American viewers and listeners, we want to wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Hope it is a quiet, peaceful, and meaningful time with your families. And then I will not be here the following week because I will be in London. So I will send your friends my love, John Pruitt. So I will be back the week after. But just, as always, we always like to thank you for taking the time to spend an hour or so with us, listening and getting all the latest Peloton news for the week. We certainly enjoy being able to share it with you. So as always, thank you so much from me to your families. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye for now, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving for me as well. Hope to see everyone on those turkey burn classes. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.